Hello and welcome to Catalyze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. And for today's quick tip, I want to talk a little bit about sidechaining with the autofilter, which is not a super common way to do sidechaining. Before we dive into it, I do want to let you know if you are enjoying the content on the channel, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. It's super helpful for the channel. So generally when people are talking about sidechaining, they're talking about sidechaining compressors because that's the most common way to do it. However, there are a number of different effects in live that can be sidechained. When we're talking about sidechaining, we're basically talking about using the volume of the signal on one track to trigger an effect on another track. So with compressors, volume one track goes up, the compressor on the other track turns the other one down. So in this situation, we're going to be using the autofilter. And to turn the sidechain on, it's going to be the same process as sidechaining with the compressor. You're going to hit this little triangle here. It allows you to turn the sidechain option on. So once we do that, we can pick the audio input from any track that we want. And I'm just going to grab from my drum rack. If you are sidechaining from a drum rack, you can grab any individual sound within that drum rack in the second drop-down menu. I only have a kick drum, so that's all I really need to do here. So before we start trying our sidechain, the sound we're working with is going to sound like this. It's just a wavetable with some oscillators and not really much going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our filter, we're going to turn this down. And if I hit play, you're going to see our kick drum. We're going to hear it, as well as we're going to see it going into our sidechain right here. You can see the signal going in there. And when I play a note, it doesn't do anything. So in order to get the sidechain to work, we need to also use the envelope settings over here. So the envelope control here will control not only the direction that the filter will move every time there's a kick drum, but also the amount that it moves. So if I turn this up here, it's going to start moving it to the right to let more high frequencies in every time there's a kick drum. Or if I go the other direction. And of course, this all depends on the starting position of the filter frequency as well as the resonance. So I can move these two around to get different kinds of sounds with it. So pretty cool. And again, it's all, the timing is always going to be synced to the timing of the kick drum or whatever you're sidechaining from. So we can try this out with different filter types as well. We can also get the attack and release involved. So this is going to control how fast it moves up and down. So as I turn the attack up, it's going to move up slower. And we'll hear what that sounds like. Here it's much slower. Here it's much faster. Same thing with the release. So we can very much affect our sound just by controlling how fast it moves up and down in either direction. On top of that, we can also add in the Quantize feature right here. So people don't often really use this feature, but it's pretty cool. But basically, instead of our filter smoothly moving up and down, it's going to jump based on the increment of time set right here. And these are 16th notes. So this is a 30-second note, 16th note, 8th note, quarter note, etc. So if I turn this on, every 16th note is changing. Or 30-second notes. So you get lots of interesting, cool, creative options here, depending on the pattern that it's sidechained to, as well as the settings for Quantize, the envelope distance and direction, attack and release, and you can get some really cool, interesting motion or movement with whatever you're doing your sound design on. In this case, we're just doing it with a kick drum and a bass sound, which works really well. However, you can sidechain any two sounds together like this. It helps if you're sidechaining from a very percussive sound into something that has a lot more sustain to it. Really cool, very underappreciated way to create some interesting textures, differences in your frequencies by combining these together and really kind of utilizing the autofilter to its full potential. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. Hopefully that's useful for you. It gives you some ideas for the next time you're doing sound design in one of your tracks. Once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon.